we are now looking forward to talking to an expert who is going to guide us on the necessary precautions that we're going to take. And she's going to discuss with us some of the challenges that the church is facing and the school at large is also facing, because she's a member of the clergy and she's also a teacher by profession. With me here, we have our panel of friends. She's Olive, she's Lydia, she's Lisa. And then our guest speaker of today is Madam Ayungo, who happens to also to be our mom. Welcome, mom.
Thank you so much.
So today we are going to tackle various aspects in the society. The predominant thing in the society right now is the challenge of COVID-19. So how has the COVID-19 affected the church as a whole?
Thank you. So the COVID-19 has negatively affected the churches, and I can also see there is also the positive aspect. I'll start with the positive aspect. Positively, we've seen now as a church, because of technology, we've seen today we are able to watch services online through WhatsApp, through Facebook on Sundays. You have a chance to watch several churches and several congregations taking place, and you're able to listen to so many from different speakers and preachers. So this one, I can say, it has expanded our knowledge. As children of God, we are able to listen to different denominations. As the people in the church, as leaders, we are also able to watch and listen to other speakers telling us about the Word of God. So positively, it has opened the church. We've seen sometimes when we give our sermons, they are read all over the world, and you get responses. So that one I can say on a positive side, you're able to reach a bigger congregation. But negatively, I can say not everybody is able to access online services because of resources. Even in church, you have a big number. Even the online services can only reach about 30 to 40 people. But there's a 60% here who are not able to access the services online because of the challenge of bundles. They cannot afford even to get that airtime. We have a big percentage of people who depend on Juakali, that they would rather use that little money to put food on the table. So that one has affected the church, because this group, they're young, and the way they were brought up, they knew that when it is on Sunday, when it is listening to the Word of God, you go to the church and you listen there. So the idea of now listening online to them is a challenge for them. We even have a big group, that the idea of congregation, when people meet together, in the society today, we have COVID-19, but we also have several challenges. We have the people who are diabetic, we have that percentage of the older age, hypertensive. We have some people who are having relatives suffering from other ailments. So these people, when they came to church, they were able even to discuss with the church leaders. They were able to be prayed for. They were able to get that social support, which now they're not getting. Because right now it is not easy. You need money, and using that money to call your mchungaji to pray over the phone. As Africans, it is now a new norm, which there's a big group of people who are suffering because they can't get that one-to-one counseling. They can't get that one-to-one prayer, because from the way we have been brought up, we knew that prayer is when you go and you're praying for. So even if you have to pray for this person through the phone, it's a challenge. This group, you also have the young people, our children who are used to going to Sunday school. These are children who are used to going to school. I've seen in my neighborhood here, sometimes when I'm doing my household chores, I see children just singing. They sing the nursery rhymes, they sing the songs that they sang. So in Sunday school, many children were able to be taught some of the social values. When children meet in a class, in a church, when the congregation, When they congregate, they're able to learn the social values of sharing, of responsibilities, self-control. But now when you leave this child in the house alone, the mother has gone to work, there's nobody to guide this child. Children learn by sharing, by listening to stories from one another. So this one is no longer there. So that one has also affected some of our children. And to an extent, even the youth. The youth, I can say positively, I've seen in my church, ACK St. Peter's, we have the teens, they have a wall where I'm encouraged that these days in their wall, they are able to share. When they get these forwards, these motivation forwards, they're able to share the word of God. But again, in that group, the teens, you can see all eyes now. Everyone is pointing a finger at our children. That is talking about our girls, our boys. So these children, when they are in the house, the parents are being blamed that they're not taking care of their children. Yet the parents have gone to work. The parents are busy working hard to put food on the table. So these children, through meeting in church, they're able to express, they're able to listen to the word of God, they're able to be guided. But now, because of this social distance, the new norm, where sometimes as a youth, you want to go even to a neighbor's house, but you cannot go because in that home, there are conditions. People will even label you. People have labeled people. The stigma that is killing people. The other time, anytime you hear that there's something in Utawala, somebody hears that you're from Utawala, already you have been stigmatized. Somebody hears you're from Nairobi, already you have a name. So you find that even our teens, they would want to meet, they would want to interact because we are social beings who have been brought up through interaction. Even when there was no formal education, our children met together in the evening and through stories, through proverbs, as they did their work, they were able to learn some of these values that now everybody is saying our children lack. So it has affected our children. It has affected the teens because these teens, as I talk to some of them, they tell me, if we were going to school, if I was in class, I had some assignments that when I go to class, I'm able to sit down in class, listen to my lecturer, listen to my teacher. When I come back, I am very busy. But now, I have nothing to do. I have slept. Some of them are people that have slept in for 14 hours. When they wake up, they're even more sick. When they wake up, even doing the household chores, because we are told to guide them. But now, it's like some of them are already losing hope.
No. What do you think are some of the preventive measures that the church should put in place so as to curb the spread of coronavirus?
So as a church, the doors are open and we are being told that now COVID-19 is with us. It is us now to learn how to live with it. And the church is a better place where these children can learn. Because in the church, some of this awareness that is being talked about, washing of hands, when our children will come to church, when parents will come to church, and they're able to wash their hands, as we have been told that we wash our hands. We've seen ourselves washing our hands at every particular place, public place that we go to. So the church is the best place where they will wash their hands. They will be able to get sanitizers. They'll be able, because most of these churches, they're like halls, they have enough space. They are able to maintain this 1 meter. They are able to maintain the social distance. And again now, they are going to be taught. From the online services that we've been conducting in our churches, as we have been preaching, we've always assured our congregation, we've always assured the people that at the end of everything, when these things are put in place, when you obey, the children of Israel, as God delivered them, they were always told to obey. When we are ready to obey the measures that we have been told by the government, and when we are able to learn these values, like this morning I was reading Job 19:25-27, where Job is getting assured that he's confident that his Redeemer lives. At the beginning of this COVID-19, everybody was scared. Aren't we? We all thought we were going to die. People even withdrew money. People shopped. There was rush. But we've realized that there is God in heaven. We've realized that life has to continue. But for life to continue, we have to be obedient. We have to follow the measures that have been put by the government. We have to maintain. We've seen this disease does not respect anybody. It can get even here. But what are we to do? We are supposed to obey, and we are supposed, in church, that is where we learn about togetherness, oneness. That is where, when people come back, we are going to be able to remove the word stigma. Because if we are people hear that a person, a neighbor has been affected or infected, you see the entire court, an entire family being isolated. But it is church where you're told that, come, let us reason together. When people come to church, we are seeing very soon, people will be released in homes. The church will be required to offer counseling. So as the youth, as members of the church, remember the church, that is a building, but remember the church is in you. You have got the chance through staying at home. I think we have expanded our knowledge about our relationship with God. We were used to, you go to church, they say the word of God is read, but now we have a chance to read. We have learned that it is in us. It is you to open your mouth and talk to God. And now when you go to church, when people will be carrying their Bibles, because some of the measures that are put in place, that when the churches resume, some of the measures that you're going to have is that now where they used to give Bibles, now you have to carry your own Bible. Where you had hymn books, you not share now hymn books. Now that is now personal responsibility. If you can carry your sanitizers, you're going to wash your hands, you have your own Bible, you have your own hymn book, that is being responsible. Yeah.
Now, the school setup has also been affected drastically, if I may say. Just last week, the government has released a survey that over 4,000 girls within Machakos or Nairobi, they have Machakos, they have early teen pregnancies. Now, can you talk to the girls? Because this thing is getting out of hand. A baby is having another baby. That's funny. Yeah, you can talk to the girls.
Kindly, don't only talk to the girls, but also the boys. They are also part of this.
Yes. That is why we are saying we are all in it. Yes. And that is why we are talking about personal responsibility. And when I talk about it as a teacher and as a church leader, I normally look at the book of Jeremiah, where before the children of Israel had a collective responsibility. And people did not care. And when people saw anything, they knew, all of us are going to be in it. But Jeremiah is now talking about personal, whereby now you have to be responsible. Now the laws have to be in your heart. I don't do something because of my friend. I don't go to the club because my friend is clubbing. I don't try because my friend is doing. It is my own responsibility. And we know that choices have consequences. So when I do the wrong thing, I know it is me to be held responsible. And in school, we have taught you, in the new curriculum, I'm very happy, because some of these measures that we're talking about, especially in personal hygiene, if you were to go to most of the schools today, you find that the idea of hand washing is already in place. And you saw that sometime a boy in Bungoma inventing a washing gadget, because it's something that they were taught in class 4. The first thing was about washing. They were taught about play for mental development, and then the next was now, how do you take care of yourself? How do you wash? And they were taught how to wash their hands, and they also made some ways of washing hands, that is bottles, and you've seen in most homes today when you go, you find some of these things have been done by our small girls and boys. That is personal responsibility. We've also taught you people, and in the new curriculum, we are learning about social values, the positive values, responsibility, sharing. Now we are sharing information. being as a team, we're working as a team. Because in where we are staying here in Utawala, as your mother, you've always seen that when we see anything wrong, we will not stop. We will correct. And even as young girls and young boys, let us be our brothers' keepers. Because some of these children, most of our children who get into some of these problems, most of it is contributed by the drug abuse. Drugs have been introduced in our society as early as you find even children in class 4, class 3. And it is brought by people that we know. So it is us, young girls and boys, to be very careful. It is us to remember the values that we have been taught by our parents, because the first teacher in your life is your parent. If your parent tells you to do something, I said the key is obedience. If you're able to obey your parents, these drugs, you get them from strangers. This, we've been told to be responsible, to be contented with what we have. If whatever I have is enough for me, I'll not go to that shopkeeper, I'll not go to that vendor to give me more. I will see that whatever I have is. We are told that when you're able to communicate with your parents, young girls and boys, communicate with your parents. Whatever need that you have, tell your parents. Because your parents are toiling. They are working up and down. That's why you don't see some of them at home, so that they can make you happy. So if you encounter any danger, the first person to talk to is your parent. And as you talk to them, some of this information you get from outside, don't perceive. You are able to know. The teens, you've learned about the life skills that we has been introduced in the new curriculum, about how to take care of yourself, how to make decisions, that before you join any group, before you try something new, ask yourself, how will it impact on my life? Because at the end of it, as Job has assured us that after this, Job is confident that the Redeemer is alive. Even as we know that education is a learning process. And we know that after the learning process, there is an outcome. And this outcome, will it be positive or will it be negative? We also learn by seeing the people around us. You've seen some of your elder sisters and brothers who've gone through the education system. And you've seen those ones who are not able to listen to their parents. They have ended up to be no good. So when you're able to listen to our parents, you're able to listen to our teachers, the counselors that we have in the society today. We have so many teachers, we have so many counselors who are able to reach unto you. Even now, as you stay in your home, remember your teachers are still there. You can call them. You can talk to them. You can share some of the fears that you have. You may be worried that maybe my life has come to a standstill. But remember, there is still life. This one will come to pass, and one time you'll be able to remind the others. As David says in Psalm 37 that he has never seen, he talks about two people, a righteous person and an evil person. And he has said that he has never seen the children of a righteous person begging. Even now when COVID-19 started, people were worried. People thought that they would not get, and people went and bought the supermarket. But we realized that what is important are the values that have been nurtured in us. What are the values? We obey what we have been told. If your parent has gone to work, be an honest person. Do not bring strangers to the house. Do not do things, and then when your parents come, you pretend that you are a good person. Because there are only two people. And God is there watching you. In school, your teachers are watching you. But now, be your brother's keeper. You have your friends with you. If you see them doing something that is wrong, it is you. Some of even these drugs that we are told, it is you people too. Because like now, with the new coded language that you people have, it is you people to take care of yourselves. Your parents are taking care of themselves, they are working, and even you have most of your friends, most of your age mates. You've seen them taking part. There's so much that you can do. In the online, it is you to decide. When you wake up in the morning, are you going to spend the whole day? Because the more you do something, the more it becomes a disaster. But everything that should be done with caution.
Do you think the e-learning is the safest way to go, or do you think we should wait for the schools to resume so that we continue with the curriculum as planned? Because we are doing exams online. We are university students and we are doing exams online. But normally, the exams, even those who are in the distance learning, they should come to school to do the exams. So do you think that the one-on-one the face-to-face communication with the lecturer is much more important than the virtual one? Because we see now, we are trying to bring up a generation where we entirely depend on the digital space, but we're also raising quacks, because once I do my exam from the internet, automatically I'm going to Google. Automatically I'm going to consult and all that stuff. So are we raising quacks, or are we raising a digitalized generation?
Now education is a learning process. A learning process is not something that you can say that whatever you've learned is enough. No, learning every day, it is a continuous process. And that's why I said you learn from one another, you learn through online. Again, you need one-to-one learning, because we are human beings, we are social beings. That is one thing that we should all be aware. There is social distance. But even in that social distanceless, we need one another. As you learn through the online services, it is always important, even as you interact with your lecturers, because we know that after this pandemic, I know learning will resume. And again, the mind of a human being, we are saying that a mind that is, if you're just idle, you're not doing anything, your mind becomes, it's like now you stop thinking. So this learning that has been taking place is interactive. It's to keep our minds, because we are used to learning. It's a system that when you are learning, your mind is engaged, you are active. But if you are to sit, that you wait for that time after 1 year, then you resume learning. Even during the olden days, you saw these people are always learning. So learning through online, and even the new curriculum, we have embraced technology where children are supposed to learn. So as our minds are being opened, as we are trying to embrace this, remember that interaction, social interaction with your lecturers, interaction with your teachers is very, very important. And it is our belief that very soon, after this, we are going to meet your teachers, you're going to continue learning. But it is good because learning is continuous. It is a process. You cannot say that if I've learned, this is the end, you are still learning. And you will learn until the day you leave this world. Yes. So we should embrace learning. Be it learning at home with your brother and sister, you are still learning. If it is learning to cook, you are learning. Learning how to take care of the house, that is still learning. So learning has no limit. Yes. So we should look at everything that we are doing, we should look at them positively, because in life, when you embrace positivity, then you are able to go an extra mile. Yes.
Hence, children are at home and they're not going to schools. There are some who are addicted to social media. And this addiction may lead them to something. When they resume to schools, they won't be able to cope up with what the teachers are saying. So how could you advise the parents?
I said that the first teacher is the parent. So it is the parents, each house, remember it, say that each house, just a house is like an institution. Each house has rules. Before you go to schools, there are some rules which are set in your house. Your father and your mother have set. So each parent, as a parent, I'm a parent, I should have rules in my house, and I should have a routine in my house that between this time and this time, it is learning online. Between this time, give them a break. They can even take a brisk walk. They can even have skipping ropes. Especially our young children, they have been taught about playing. And I'm very happy when I talk about this, because we taught them even how to make play items. We taught them even how to store them. So if these children have been encouraged to play, our teens, we are also able to relax our minds. So there's time for doing household chores, there's time for online learning, there's time just for playing and interaction within the setup where you are. So if you have that in your home, it will be easy, because it is I as a parent, it is them as parents, it is us to have rules in our houses, because it is very easy to have these rules. There's some houses which people have installed internet. There are places where you buy for your children bundles. So it is you to control how they're using. And it is very easy, because be your child's friend. You know, your child's friend, you're able to know. At times, I talk to my children. I ask them about their friends. I ask them, do you have a boyfriend? Do you have a girlfriend? And then from there, we start learning. And when they tell that they have a girlfriend, there's a way I'll talk to her, to him. And we are able to do what? This is how learning is taking place. So in houses, even the learning, as I said, even in our own homes, there are so many things that you can learn, not only online. Yes. And there are control measures you can do. That. So many things that you can use as a parent. In schools, you have rules, and those rules, people obey them. In your house, you have rules, and it is you as a parent to ensure that your children are able to follow those rules. It is a process, and you work on them, because there are new norms that now parents are embracing now. It is you as a parent, you and I, to come up together and see how we can put rules in our houses and how we can even reach our neighborhood. And some of the friends of our children who visit our homes, we should not stigmatize them as children who are not. Let us embrace everybody, and then we learn from each other. The good things from that house, the good things from my house, we put them together.
Exactly. Now, in the event that the schools reopen, which they're going to reopen very soon,
Yes.
You as a teacher, what do you expect? What are the expectations on how the school management should tackle this whole issue of coronavirus? Should they put in place washing dispensers to wash people's hands, and should they provide masks for the children, and should they try to at least decongest the classrooms? Because in public setups, sometimes the classrooms are, you teach an average of 40 to 50 children in class. So you think the most probable measure that the government is going to take is to decongest the classrooms, and to have a ratio of at least one teacher to 30 students, or one teacher to 20, or something like that?
I think that what has been very important is the teaching, the sensitization that has been, the awareness that has taken place the last 3 months. Once we are aware, once we have been sensitized, it is very easy when children come, because children will come when they already are responsible. We've trained our children at home on how to use the mask. So it will be easy for them when they come to school, because already they have been sensitized. Our parents have also been sensitized. The community at large have been sensitized, so that as they come to school, if we are all responsible, we are able to ensure that the children have masks with them, provided by their parents, because most of them can afford. You see most children with masks in the streets. Washing places, at least in every school, to have some washing points. Every class to have a washing point. The children are able to improvise. And then the class, the desk should be spaced. So what is important is that the child is aware of the dangers of COVID-19. So once this child is aware, this child is able to practice washing of the hands. And once they're able to wash their hands, they're able to use their mask on. And it will also be easy, and parents, we also to appeal to our parents to provide for their children when they come, so they don't share. The issue of pencils, pens, maybe writing materials. So if children will be able also to provide for them children from home, then it will be easy for us as a school to continue creating awareness on the children. Yes, because it is a collective responsibility from home, society at large, and then in school.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for your advice. So, as us, we have learned that obedience is the most important thing. Also, wash your hands, sanitize, keep social distancing, and also wear mask. Not only because the police will catch you or not, it's because of your safety, right? And also, when we go back to school,
we keep social distancing, obey our parents, and also in churches we keep social distancing and pray to God because this thing will end. So you're right.
Yes.
Yeah.
And lastly, do not stigmatize. Do not think that you are so special that you may not get it. Let us have, that is why the church is coming here. Have that empathy, have that concern for one another. Have that because maybe in your place, in your home, you have enough, but next to you, the people who are suffering. So let us empathize with our neighbors and also let us not be judgmental.
Exactly. So that is a. It has been a very interactive session that we have had, and I hope you have taken into consideration the various things that you have discussed here. So now this message is from us to you. It is a time. It is a time to take the necessary precautions and be able to not only adhere to the regulations issued by the government, but also respect your parents back at home. And also, you need to understand one thing that God is coming. He's coming very soon, by the way. Therefore, you need to stay safe, stay at home, sanitize, keep social distance, and above all, mask up.